Hey guys, my name's Nick Dundas and welcome to episode 3 of Van Candy. I'm going to be taking you around to Seattle while it's snowing because I'm a monster. I make poor choices and, theme of the podcast, kind of a crazy guy. That's what's going to happen. I know you guys love the fit. I kind of look like a Russian mobster mixed with a self-deprecating homeless person, and I'm a mix of both a little bit except for the Russian part. Otherwise, let's get going. I am ready to get out of this driveway and not die. That would be kind of the preference here. No death. It is just a couple days after Christmas time, and we're heading into the new year. It is a sunny Wednesday, and the roads are icy. They are slick, and my job today is to avoid any hills, which is hilarious because this is Seattle, Washington, and most of the city is hills. In fact, when I first moved out here 5-6 years ago from Massachusetts, I used to make fun of people for freaking out when there was 2 to 3 inches of snow. They'd always call it Snowpocalypse. They still call it Snowpocalypse. And I'm like, you guys are losers. Come on, back in Massachusetts, where I'm from, we used to cross-country ski to school. All right, 2 feet of snow didn't stop us. Also didn't realize how flat Massachusetts is compared to Seattle. My God, is Seattle hilly, most of it 45-degree angles. So I understand now why everyone freaks out. A lot of it has to do with how slick everything is. There's just pile on and pile on and pile on. And the fact that there might be 3 snowplows for the whole city. So if you're a trucker who knows how to drive, you want to make some extra bucks in the winter, people come from eastern Washington where there is more infrastructure to support the snow. There are some more rugged men who know what they're doing. Come out here and they help the weenies like me, Well, I can't get out in my Prius, but this guy in his F-350 puts a little snowplow right in the front. He's making thousands of bucks in just a weekend. Everything is shut down, my God. Yeah. So now we're just trying not to die. I think I got 4-wheel drive, minus two wheels, so I buy like bicycle drive, Got like, I don't know how much horsepower this thing has, but it doesn't mean anything when you don't have all-wheel drive. So I am just a box, skating by right now. There is so much ice, but we're doing it. Van Candy does not care about the inclement weather. We are getting to a show. There is no show, but we're pretending like there's a show. Even if there was a show, which there have been, trust me, I've done shows. I'm not just making this up. I perform. I have COVID, so you guys might have been wondering, oh, you sounded so sick yesterday. Yep, that's me in the ice, and we're out. He was so sick yesterday. What happened? Well, I had COVID. That's what happened, and it's gotten much better. I feel so much better. It's not perfect. I still got those chest pains. I'm always tired, but, I'm only recovering now, so I am quarantining, not going out in public for 10 days as is required after symptoms show, and hoping that I'll have a great New Year's. It'll be just in time for me to celebrate with some people, masks on, obviously. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. And we're at a red light. Can I stop? Yes, I can stop. Thank God. There is a guy tailing me. And even if there wasn't a lot of snow, I'd recommend that people behind this van, right in the intersection. All right. For those of you who might not have known what just happened, I was peeling out and I was stuck in the intersection for a good 10 seconds, -5, give or take. Comedians like to exaggerate. And this guy was on my ass, no longer on my ass. I think he knows a lot better now. I, on the other hand, do not, which is why I'm still driving. And even if there wasn't a lot of snow, even if there wasn't ice on the road, in the summer even, when I'm trying to get on I-5 from 3rd Ave, so downtown, and I'm at a 45-degree angle, when I let go of the brake, I start rolling back. So there's a big give and take. And we're at a roundabout. And I drop, a good 5 feet. So if you're on my ass trying to get to work or home, wherever you're trying to do on I-5, camp out sometimes, there's going to be a problem. Fortunately, I haven't hit anyone just from trying to go forward, but, Anyway, I'm recovering and I'm feeling good. All the snow reminds me of my childhood. Used to wait for the bus when I was a little kid and so much snow. I remember we used to go sledding a lot. We weren't like a skiing family. That's pretty expensive. I did skiing later in life. When I was 18 was the first time I went. It's funny, out in the West Coast, for those of you who don't know, the mountains here are much bigger. And this is just Washington State. Like Whistler's huge, Colorado. You guys already know about Colorado. But like the biggest like mountains out in Vermont or New Hampshire, Mount Stowe, it's a huge ski resort. It's like hills compared to here. If you're talking about Seattle, that's like a Queen Anne hill, Mount Stowe. And that's a lie, but that's okay, because it's funny to me. Oop, little slip and slide. Anyway, when I was a kid, we used to go sledding. You just go to New Hampshire, you used to go to someone's backyard. When you lived in the sticks, it wasn't hard to find a little hill as a child. One year, my dad was like excited. We lived in Fairhaven, and my dad was excited because Fall River was a town over, and for some reason, this town had like a giant hill. Like you take the bridge over the water, and then there's this huge hill. I never explored the town, so I wasn't really familiar. But when I was, I think, 10 years old, it was like a weekend, maybe a Friday. I don't remember. All I know is I didn't have school. So it probably was Christmas break. In between, literally right now. It's probably like to this day, 10, 15 years ago. I don't know how old I am. Oh shit, I'm 27. So 17 years ago. Oh. That hits you. That hits you. Thinking about how old you are. Gross, dude. Anyway, 10 years old, going sledding with my 2 little brothers and my dad and the stepmom at the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was comparing things to Queen Anne's. This hill is like 3 Queen Anne's, and it's several streets steep. And it's New England, so life is going. Like, it's not like everyone's got the day off. It's like Snowpocalypse, none of the buses are running. It's just a normal day in the winter in Massachusetts, Rhode Island. So the buses are going, people are getting to work. And like my dad and I are noticing that's like, oh, there aren't any other children here. They're just like drunk 20-year-olds. I wonder why. It's because it's so steep. It is slick with ice. There's no powder, which those of you who know, that is dangerous. That is scary. So I went down the hill, so afraid. And at first I'm like, oh, this is fine. But as you pick up speed and hit bumps, you're just like, oh. And there's like 10 of them. There's 10 mini hills that make up a giant hill. And I got the wind knocked out of me. That was the very first time in my life that I got the wind knocked out of me, which essentially knocks you out. It's a nice way of saying I got knocked out for like 2 seconds without major damage. I hit a little bump at the bottom of the hill. Fortunately, because if it wasn't there, I would have gone into the street on the oncoming traffic. Again, life was going by just normal in Massachusetts. And I hit a little bump. Ooh, pow. Out. Last thing I remember is my dad coming to me. And then being like, you good? And I was like, yeah. I'm not doing that again. And he's like, that's fine. I don't think anyone is. I think you were the test run and we're going home to have hot cocoa. And I was like, I'm glad I did that, for the family. Yeah. I've only had the wind knocked out of me one other time. I was like 14 and my friends and I were all playing pickup, like 2-hand touch football, whatever you call it. And it was just literally me and 5 other friends. So we were playing grab ass. We were being gay. And my dad was there. He was going to drop me off, but then everyone loves my dad. So they were like, why don't you throw us like the ball? Why don't we just like do some routes? And he was like, yeah, this is my dream come true. My son's actually playing sports. He's got friends and he's not going to shoot up the school. We weren't sure for a while. And it was a weird, like I just hadn't eaten all day and I wasn't hungry by any means, but I hadn't drank water all day. That's my excuse. But it was like 3 p.m. and I hadn't consumed anything. So literally first 2 seconds, I run out to catch a ball that my dad was throwing in front of all my friends and I just fainted. So no, that is not the wind knocked out of me. I fainted like I don't even know how to compare it. Like someone who just saw fucking the Jonas Brothers for the first time. Just boom, knocked out. And my dad was like, I'm gonna run and get some Dunkin' Donuts so you can get some sort of nutrition in you. Because yeast and kami glaze. That is the 2 of the 5 basic food ingredients for a New Englander. The rest is like the caramel they fill in with the Dunkin' coffee, because it's mostly not coffee. Oh my God. And there are kids on the street throwing snowballs. Normally that makes me happy, but when I'm driving this and he's chasing me. No, he's not. Sorry, easily distracted. Should not be driving, but those kids need to be careful because they're going to get hit by a car. And I am dating myself again. 17 years ago I was that age, and now I am yelling at kids on the street from inside my car. Oh, dude. I'm the worst. I know we've already established it's kind of the theme of the podcast, but sometimes it surprises me. Jesus. And we're looking both ways, because I'm a good guy, you know? I know too many people, literally 0 people, who have been T-boned because they didn't look both ways, but oh no, I'm not going to do it. I used to be the guy who used to go right, kind of cut off a guy. It had nothing to do with me being a purposeful asshole. It had me to do, it's just my lack of visual awareness, you know? And when I say used to, this is when I was learning how to drive when I was 15. Yep, they're still coming. All right, I'm just going to be nice. There's a lady waiting for the bus. She's got nice leather boots on. Looks like they're stopping the snow from seeping into her feet. I got my boots at Ross Dress for Less, so my feet are really cold, even in the car. But, you know, it's high fashion, low quality. That's kind of what I look for. If it's not made in a Chinese sweatshop, do I even want it? You know? Cambodia, I'm okay with that. Vietnam, totally fine. I love your food. Love Vietnamese food. Guys, if you haven't eaten Vietnamese food yet, what are you even doing? It's like, have you even heard of a banh mi? Have you even heard of pho? I don't know anything else. Have you even heard of ube? That's Filipino. Fuck. Vietnamese coffee. Sometimes it has an egg in it. Oh yeah. It's fancy stuff. That's probably the whitest thing I've ever said. Is, have you even had pho? It's like, Charlotte, do you even know what pho is? Yeah, that's the vibe I give off sometimes. And when I mean sometimes, I mean all the time. And this is a nice street with no snow. It's a main road. They've paved it. They've not paved it. I mean, they did, maybe 50 years ago. But they've plowed it. I'm going to pave my wife later. I mean, plow. I swear I'm married. I'm not. I am not married. Woo. See, this is part of the neighborhood I haven't checked out. There's a hill that way. I'd love to look, but I also don't want to get stuck. So I'm not doing it. That's what's happening. Nice. Damn, there is some traffic now. Is everyone else recording a podcast? I hope not, because that would be stupid. Guys, I haven't lost my sense of taste, which is great, because I've been hearing some people who lose it, don't get it back, or if they do, it's never the same. My girlfriend lost her sense of taste when she had COVID, a couple months ago, and she's doing okay. As in, she can taste everything just fine, although she says she's not sure if it's 100% back. I've always thought she had a pretty terrible sense of taste. She's dating me. But otherwise, it's hard to measure. Am I taking this left? No, we're not taking this left. We're going to take this left. Hell yeah. Got a couple shows coming up, folks. We got 4 or 5 shows booked for San Diego, and as long as I'm feeling healthy and California sticks with its righteous ways of not caring about this pandemic, then I should be good to perform. We'll see. If not, it's going to be a great little vacation with a friend, although I will be working as I do it. That's the thing. You think, it's only, for me, 5 to 15 minutes of, work, actual work. You're on stage for that long, 5 to 20 minutes. I keep expanding it as if no one will notice. For the professionals, it's anywhere from an hour to 90 minutes. But there's so much that goes into preparation. You got to practice it. You got to rehearse it. You got to tweak the jokes. When you're doing open mics, it's nice to get like 3 or 4 sets in a day, minimum. I live in a city where you can very rarely do that in a day. If anything, you can do 1 to 2, if we're lucky. Fortunately, they're at nicer clubs, and it's not necessarily someone's basement, although there's plenty of those, which I like. Anyway, sometimes, I know this sounds so stupid, but like you need hours beforehand to just mentally prepare for what you're about to do. You're about to say weird things in front of anywhere from 2 to 7 people if you're like me. Just kidding. 2 to 70 people if you're like me. And it's like you just got to be in that vibe. You kind of have to like be goofy. It's hard for you to focus at your day job if you know 2-3 hours from now you're going to be at a club just telling jokes, really trying to be involved, because you keep thinking about it. It's hard for me to print stuff and do research at my work, Excel sheets mostly, when I'm thinking about penis. That's actually in a hilarious way. When I'm thinking about poopies, big, meaty poopies. Clap, clap, clap. People are like, yeah, we can imagine it's hard for you to keep a job when you talk like that. Oof, this guy's trying to jaywalk with headphones in and sunglasses. Admittedly, it is sunny, so even though it snowed a lot, lots of sun. Yeah. I'm hoping nothing gets canceled when I'm in the SD. Got some other shows. One in Salem, Oregon. I'm excited to drive there. I've never been. Sounds fun. And then I'll be in Whistler just after San Diego, but I'm going to go skiing, guys. It's been a couple years. It's go time. Got a friend who hooked it up. I'm hoping to maybe take some video. Maybe do a little force some comedy so that it's worth doing a little Van Candy podcast in Whistler. Oh my God, that'd be fun. It's not like you guys are going to be there, but we could pretend, you know. That'd be amazing. I remember it used to snow so much where I live. There was one year, I think it was like 2004. It was the year, I just remember it was the year there was that Japanese tsunami. The big one. Of many, but the big one in my lifetime. And that same, maybe it was related, maybe, I wouldn't be surprised. That same year, it happened to snow like literally 4 feet. Like it was huge. And you could burrow and make all these tunnels as a child. My dad used to just take me and my brothers and just literally throw me out in the snow. And it was so fun. And I was like, I'm just waiting for the fire hydrant so we could sue you. That'd be awesome. But there never was one. My dad was very strategic about not throwing us on a fire hydrant. I think he loved us. Also, there wasn't one near where we lived. We lived in the suburbs. There weren't really many of those. So, that's that. God damn, there are so many people just, like, you know when you're a baseball player and you play professionally, internationally, within the United States, AAA, like maybe you're just playing Pee Wee, whatever it's called, and you want to steal a base, so you start leading. The worst that happens is the pitcher sees that you're stealing the base and throws the ball to either first, second, third, where you're trying to steal to from, gets you in a little pickle spot, and you're out. People I'm noticing doing that now, like on the street. I have a green light, so I'm going. But they're playing pickle, they're fucking leading the base, seeing if they can just sprint ahead of me, as if I won't hit them by mistake. As if it's not going to be a big issue. They're not going to be out, they'll be dead. Whole different ballgame. Death. Man, I am such a little child, but also an old man. I'm just doing these old complaints. Back in my day, we used to sled down Fall River. People are like, that's way too specific to be relatable. Back in my day, we used to be thrown in the snow. And they're like, that still happens. That's not it's not like a you thing. It's continuously people in the North Pole still in the snow. Is the North Pole even real? Come on. I'm not a flat earther, but I'm like, is every continent in existence? Because we're now just realizing we have these Eurocentric maps, meaning, you know, we're making the United States and Europe seem way bigger than it is, when in reality South America, Africa, even Australia is huge, and we're much smaller. We just think we're the center. So it's like, is there even a Ukraine? Russia wouldn't like to think so. That's bad. Is there even Jamaica? I've never been. How do I know? That's an actual population of people. How do I know that's just not like Dominican people being like, we're gonna just pretend like this is a whole other spot. Jawfield? Jawfield? Jawfield. All right, we're back on the ice. And a bump. Ooh. That wasn't that bad. We did it, guys. High five. Nice. Oh, Jesus. You know, I was thinking about how little I've been drinking relative to when I started drinking. I was, like, drinking really late. Like, my mom's French, so, I mean, I think the ability to have a glass of wine wasn't ever off the table, but I never thought to ask. I never was into it. So it was the summer before my senior year of high school. Again, super late on the game, which in hindsight is a good thing. So I was like 16 going on 17, I think. And all my friends in the grade above me were, you know, enjoying their senior year, so they had all these big senior parties. Sometimes it was with friends, sometimes it was with family, a lot of times it was with both. And so it was easy to sneak in beers because they just have kegs, or they'd have just like whatever mixed drinks in the ice pitchers. And that's when I started drinking, because I was like, oh, this is fucking free. Parents don't give a shit, they just want us to be safe. I remember going to my friend's house and fucking having 4 Bud Lights and being like, woohoo! And falling asleep in my friend's tub and just being like throwing up late at night with my other friend into the toilet, and then going back into the tub and being like, best night ever. And everyone was like, I guess, you kind of suck. So that kind of started what would lead up into college, where you're just fucking really trying to go hard and show yourself off. You're just really trying to cross the road here. No, you're trying to kind of find your limits, you know? I realized that I shouldn't drink a water bottle full of like cherry flavored vodka, because cherry is gross, and you're probably just going to throw up immediately. You're probably going to be the worst guy at the party. I think the very first party I went to in college, again, I'm going to sound like an old person, but I went to school at UMass Amherst, so like any of the houses were far away from campus. And as a freshman, you don't know anyone, so you're just rolling in with 10 other men, I say boys, that we were 17, and you just go to random apartments or houses. The whole time thinking that's fine. I'm like, oh, this is where the party's at, we're all gonna go. All the beers in here are for the party, I'm in the party, so I get to have a beer, or 10. You don't realize that this is someone else's birthday, and those beers are for them. So you keep doing it until someone's like, what are you fucking doing? At least I did. Because I suck. As is the theme of the podcast. This guy's letting me go, which I don't like, but that's okay. So then as you get older, you're like, all right, I'm gonna drink my own stuff, and you start testing limits. My limits, basically, fucking 2 beers. 2 beers. Like, because if I have one, then I've spent money, but haven't had much of a reaction from it. I haven't really gotten my money's worth. So I need 2 to feel something. If I go to 3, probably the better buzz, but then I start thinking I need 4 or 5. So if I stick with 2, I'm feeling great, I haven't spent much money, and I'm less tempted to have a 3rd. But once I have that 3rd, it's like, it's gonna be 6 or 7 tonight, which isn't the worst if you pace yourself and drink water, because I get a really bad hangover. The problem is with 2 is that for the most part, if I'm out and about, life is good. So if my energy's up with 2 beers, then I feel great. But if I have 2 beers and I'm just sitting around, I'm just gonna fall asleep. In fact, it's a great way, you don't need melatonin, all you need is like 2 shots of fucking bourbon, and you're good to go. I think I know why they gave it to babies at such a young age. knocks me out. So yeah, I'm a lightweight. I'm a cheap date, but that's a good thing. I was thinking about those high school graduation parties. So 2-3 years later, it's the summer after freshman year. And Providence, Rhode Island, when they used to have the radio station 95.5 WBRU, shout out to Brown University, used to have that radio show. No longer. It was the indie pop channel, so it was like, you know, the Lumineers and fucking Queens of the Stone Age or Kings of Leon, I don't know, all that shit. And I used to eat that shit up all the time. I used to love it. And they used to have free concerts with either up-and-coming or bigger name artists every summer. So 1 week, for like I want to say 8 to 10 weeks, once a week there'd be a free concert, and they'd do it at this open space on the water. Super fun, anyone could go. But whenever it rained, they would then put the concert somewhere else. And what was fun is like you'd have to listen to the radio to guess where the concert was. So me and my friends were running around all of Providence like, where's the fucking show? Where's the fucking show? And one of the bands I really liked at the time, New Politics, was playing at the Whiskey Republic one Friday night. It's the summer, I'm 19, I have some ecstasy, and I'm ready to fucking go. And you walk in and it's like there's all these like promotions going on, so people are just giving you shots because it's this free concert thing. They're not carding people even though they should. So it's not like I got carded. I had a fake, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't have to use it, which was nuts. And these go-go dancers are fucking giving out shots like there's no tomorrow. So I'm loving life. I've already taken the ecstasy, and there's an opener, a feature, and then New Politics. And by the time New Politics is just wrapping up, that's when the fucking ecstasy kicks in, folks. I am just fucking woo! And it's maybe the second time I've taken it, so it's still kind of a new experience for me. And I'm in a big crowd of people, all of whom I love at that point. I'm just like, I want to touch you. New Politics, very outgoing, eccentric band. The lead singer is at the stage, and it's a very kind of intimate bar. So he's able to grapple onto the rafters, low hanging, and monkey his way to the bar, which is a big, big circle. Everyone's kind of crowded in the whole place because it's just, again, a free concert. It's a small bar. Everyone's jam-packed, and I'm loving it. And I see him monkey to the bar right in front of me. And he's doing a little speech. He's talking about how he loves this. This moment is perfect. And as he's professing his love to music and all of us, I reach for his ass because I'm on ecstasy. And I really give him a big squeeze, and he stops his speech in the middle of... He stops in the middle of his speech and just kind of does a crowd. He's just like, I read the moment. This has happened before. A lot of little boys like to touch me. He falls over, crowd surfs. Again, I'm really giving him a feel. And the whole time I'm like, Finding Nemo. I'm like, I touched the butt. I touched the butt. I touched the butt. So now I'm peaking. Like, I'm actually really feeling it. The concert's over. It's raining. So I'm running around in the rain with my friends. And I have a friend call me. And he's like, hey, man, I got this sick party at my house. You should come through. And I was like, house party? Yes, let's step it up. I'm in the back of the car trying to reach to touch the steering wheel because it feels nice. I keep breathing on the window and then rubbing my face on the window because the moisture feels great. Sticking my head out the window. My friends can't control me, but I'm not much of a problem because I'm relegated to the sedan. So we get to my friend's house. It's later in the evening. Who opens the door but his mother? And she was just like, hey, thanks for coming to the graduation party. And I look around and it's like children, all his cousins, uncles that are old, and his mother, who kind of a hot mama. I'm not gonna lie. Before the ecstasy, I was like, wow. During the ecstasy, I was like, you and me are getting married. So she reaches to shake my hand, and I gave her a hug. She's like, oh, is this a French thing? And I was like, it's a you and me thing, baby. Doing a lot of rubbing. I was forcibly separated. The mom was laughing, probably uncomfortably. Then I'm sent to the basement where the kids are hanging out. People are drinking casual beers, playing pool. This is not a rager like he made it seem. I think he just wanted friends to come over. He fibbed. But it doesn't matter because I'm on ecstasy, so it's the best time of my life. I'm on his carpet, rolling around. People are just throwing Doritos at me. So it's funny, just the couple years, you have it's the same house, by the way. This person was like the nicest person. I'm not going to name names, but they were such a good-hearted, nice person. Crazy shit happens. all it takes is a semester of college, and then you're like, yeah, I might do meth. It's state school, by the way. I can't speak for people who went to hoity-toity private schools or small liberal arts colleges. It's probably a different experience. But when the IQ is low, so are the standards. No regrets, though. That was a fun moment in my life. And now I'm just sipping tea. A lot of tea. Because I'm an old person. And I have COVID, but also I'm an old person. Ripe age at 27. Oh, God. And I'm hungry. So we're going to head back home, guys. And I'm going to cut this guy off. Woo! There we go. The question is, can I find a parking spot? We're not sure. We have no idea. I remember, it's funny, you gotta know what drugs you need for the moment. I tend to be someone who likes to be really uppity when everyone's down. I'm a contrarian. So I like to be up when people are down when people are up. In a way, it just makes me kind of a prick, but it's just the vibe that I like. A lot of comedians can relate to that. I think they don't like what the masses often do. But in an intimate situation, it can be really frustrating. But it also leads me to not caring about the situation. Like, I don't believe in playlists necessarily. Like, I don't have them on my Spotify. So if people are like, Nick, plug in your MP3, and I'm like, okay, Alanis Morissette. Now it's fucking Metallica. Now it's fucking 50 Cent. All these early 2000s references. It's just all up and down. And it's the same with when I take my drugs. Like, I don't read the room really. So I'm a guy who does ecstasy at a fucking children's graduation party, or I smoke too much weed at a function that requires you to be a little uppity. I went to see Bass Nectar in college. Actually, I went to see Avicii in college for free. That shit was fun. But I smoked too much weed. And weed is not like an EDM drug. When you're like jam-packed with hundreds of people, yeah, you smoke a joint and you're like, oh, the music's better. But if you fucking are vaping fucking 10, 12 times before the show, you're just gonna look around and be like, I kind of just want to sit on my couch. Like, this music's great, but it'd be way better in my headphones and if I was watching like Ren and Stimpy or something. So when I smoke too much weed, I just want to sit. That's what happened. Go to see Bass Nectar, go to see Avicii. Too high. I didn't know that's what it was, because I was chasing the dragon at the time. You smoke weed for the first time, you're like, this is the best ever. I'm laughing and giggling, I can do anything. You smoke weed 10 times and anything later, you're just like, I'm just gonna hang out. Which is great, but not when you're at a big lively concert. This guy's letting me go, he has a Tesla. He understands that because his income is so much more substantial than mine, that he must give me the right of way, or that'd make him an asshole. We're on 60th and 17th. This guy is taking a wide-ass turn around the rotary, I think, because the ice is too much for him to bear. But he's got a four-wheel drive Nissan. What does that mean? Does that mean my fucking two-wheel drive death box isn't gonna do it? I don't know, folks. I don't know. Actually, before we started this call, I saw some guy almost rear-end someone else. It's two people at fault. This guy's at the rotary, stops in the middle of the rotary when he shouldn't. He should have just kept going around. He saw me and got a little scared, but I wasn't even anywhere near him. He stops immediately, and the guy behind him's not paying attention, and stops right at his ass. I swear to you, he didn't hit him, but he made it seem like he did. So the guy peels off, and then stops. He realizes this was a bad idea. I shouldn't leave because you could have a dash cam. I think we all have that fight or flight. A lot of us want to flee, it was the right word, but he stayed and fought, I guess. Oh, lost my parking spot. All right, folks, while I look for a spot, we will talk next year. Hopefully, I'll be much better then, and we'll be able to talk about New Year's celebrations and how I really suck. I got a few stories to recant next time we talk. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace out.